Well, Jason, the government may be shut down, but that doesn't stop Rage Select.
No.
All of our funding comes from drug money, mostly.
Obamacare.
Yes. Damn it, Obama.
We've been siphoning off money.
You didn't know about the plastic surgery section of my condo here. I always keep my bedroom closed.
Really?
That's where I've got the chair for the plastic, the liposuction, the rhinoplasty, some minor dentistry,
Freelance plastic surgeon.
Yeah, I'll give you some orc fangs and some elf ears if you want them.
Jeff just walks around public parks going, hey,
Hey,
you want bigger boobs?
you need some surgery.
I can do it.
I mostly testicle enlargement that's the cornerstone of the Jeff Clinic here.
Testicular enhancement.
That's right. Who would want such a thing, right? Anyway, welcome
Can
to.
you adamantium coat mine?
Oh God, so you could fight crime
Yes.
with your junk.
Yes, and have them detachable.
What if a Wolverine, instead of claws coming out of his hands, had claws coming out of his junk? That snicked noise would have a much more ominous.
Yeah, snick. Wolverine's excited.
Oh no, he's taking his pants off. Well, hey, welcome everybody to the Rage Select Podcast. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jason.
And I think we're going to jump right into it pretty soon. But I did, right before we got started, I was outside having a cigarette, and I read something that I thought was awesome.
Okay.
And it was this, I don't know if you've seen this today, it's this video that apparently Rob Schneider put out saying that he hasn't made a movie in 7 years because the Democrats in California make it hard to do business out there or something. And I was just like, go Democrats.
Yeah. Somebody ought to run on that platform. We prevented Rob Schneider from making a movie.
That's right. That's the cornerstone of your platform.
Rapturous applause.
I've been thinking that if we beat up we have a savage public beating of Robert Rodriguez, we could probably run on that, right?
Maybe so.
Name your kids something real. I hate that. That dude.
His name's Rocket.
I mean, right? All his kids have dumb names. It's like Rocket, Racer, Rogue.
Yeah.
Something. It's just, come on, Robert Rodriguez.
What would you name your first kid?
Xavier,
Hideo.
obviously. Yeah. Kojima-san. Kojima-san. Yeah. I don't know. I liked your Spider-Man Murphy back. You and Allison were talking about.
That's not happening.
Spider-Man Murphy. Come on.
It's not going to be a Spider-Man Murphy.
It's going to be the best thing ever.
No.
He would have the greatest elementary school years of all time.
I said Peter Parker Murphy is great.
Right.
Not Spider-Man Murphy.
What
That's
about
different?
Doom Murphy.
That's pretty money right
Victor
there.
Von Murphy.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Well, make him Victor Von Murphy. Yes. Make him wear a metal mask all the time.
That's right.
And refer to everyone as peasant.
That's right. I could just imagine that your toddler is the one that comes to school in the 4-year-old size Dr. Doom armor.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's a medical condition.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a note. He doesn't have to go to gym class.
Principal fucko.
I have to just briefly talk. Last week we had a story on the podcast about how Microsoft came out and said, orient the Xbox One vertically at your own risk. because of the slot for the optical drive, they haven't tested it in vertical configuration.
Sounds like swim in these crocodile-infested waters at your own risk.
Yeah. But basically, and their statement, I think, was basically just like, you do what you want to, but we won't be held responsible if fucking Zool comes out of there or whatever. Yeah. And so I was on the podcast with Nick, and Nick and I were both like, who puts their console vertically? Anyway, slew of emails and comments from people that are like, I totally put my console vertically. In fact, one of the people that commented said, I listed off all this. It's like I got a PlayStation and an Xbox. I got 3 PS2s, and they're all vertically. And I was just like,
that makes a lot of sense.
Why do you have 3 PS2s?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Did he? I wonder if he wired them together with a tandem computing rig. So
yeah,
I have a PlayStation 6 now. Right. Suck it, peasants.
Trying to contact alien life or something.
Yeah. So I guess you don't have any of your stuff vertically, right?
No.
I mean, it was a nice little wake up call to me about yeah, I don't have it vertically. Nobody I know has it vertically, but people still do that for whatever reason.
At your own risk.
At your own risk. So what I want out of this podcast, I want people in the comments to tell us, are you getting an Xbox One? Do you do vertical console configuration? Are you going to take the risk? Yeah,
I'm going to go
see what happens.
Someone's, go to a party or something and see someone with their Xbox vertically and be like, sweetheart, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here right now. This guy is dangerous.
It's a ticking time bomb. It could go off at any particular point in time. All right, well, enough of that flimflammery. Let's get into the big news this week. Is that Steam announced all kinds of stuff. Were you following these announcements?
Not really. I was busy.
All right, so they had 3. Yeah, you're watching them fantastical movies. All right, let me make sure I don't get my facts out of whack here. The first of their 3 announcements was they're creating the Steam OS, that is a Linux-based OS that can run games or can stream games to your TV or whatever. I didn't really have a very good grasp about what exactly that was going to be for.
Right.
I'm not going to put Steam OS on my PC.
Right. Why?
Yeah. Of course, I don't know. To be honest, I go to Linux. I kind of... Have you ever run Linux on a computer before?
I have.
I should go back to it like once every 4 or 5 years for about a week and go, no.
Right.
No. Last time I was trying to get like DivX movies to work on it. And it was just like, I've installed the C++ library, but it still won't play these movies. And
yeah, exactly.
I'm not willing to learn how to take the root code of my operating system apart.
Feeling superior takes a lot of work.
It really does. But I'm sure that it's been 7 or 8 years since then. I bet they've got that shit hammered out now.
I don't know.
But I just
they probably have guys dismantling it and making it as obfuscated as possible, just so it can be the OS of the elite.
So, okay, let's see what this says. In SteamOS, we have achieved significant performance increases in graphics processing, and we're now targeting audio performance and reductions in input latency at the operating system level. Game developers are already taking advantage of these gains as they target SteamOS for their new releases. So, I don't know. Maybe we're on the cusp of starting to see more Linux development for video games, stuff that is running native to this SteamOS.
Maybe... they should drop all this shit and work on Half-Life 3.
You got to give it up, man. You got to give it up.
I know, it's never happening.
Everybody, there's a lot of people out there holding a torch for Half-Life 3. What was somebody I was talking to about Half-Life 3, Team Fortress 3, Portal 3? I'm like, I kind of consider those to be just dead forever, and then someday they'll rise from the grave like Altered Beast, and I'll be like, yeah! All right. So the second of the 3 announcements was that, as it's kind of one of the worst kept secrets out there, that they're going to make a bunch of Steam boxes to put under your TV. Let's see.
Tell me what the Steam box does.
Okay. The boxes will come in multiple forms. This is from Joystick. The box will come in multiple forms from different manufacturers in 2014, but all Steam machines will run Steam OS. First Valve is they're sending out prototypes, which I'm going to get in on that. It sounds like, okay, to be honest, I've read it. It's a little vague, but what it sounds like is this: that they'll probably have some that are compact PCs to run games directly on, and they will probably have some that are more like Roku boxes that are doing the streaming from your computer to those sorts of things. So basically it's kind of the logical step for Steam that we've been thinking about and talking about for years, where a way to get your 1,000-game Steam library onto your TV instead of just being chained to a computer to play it without having to move a computer all around. But I don't know. I mean, it just sounds more like they're taking baby steps into becoming a hardware manufacturer developer. Which
has been rumored for a long time.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I think that having another. I'm never a fan of too much competition. Like, maybe the whole thing crashes and burns, but it would be nice if there was somebody besides Sony and Microsoft out there to put underneath my TV. I'm still rooting for Sega, though. I think they're going to come out at the end. This next generation.
Yeah, you chide me for hanging on to the hopes of Half-Life 3.
Dreamcast 2! Dreamcast 2! Yeah. No, it's never going to happen.
Saturn 2.
And then the third of these announcements... Oh, God. Shut up, phone. And by far the strangest... is that Valve is created this new controller for Steam games that is weird. It's really weird.
It's getting outside of the paradigm.
And the first thing for those of you who haven't seen it, I can't really describe it very well. Go take a look at it. But the first thing, obviously, that everybody notices is that instead of any kind of analog sticks, it's got 2 touch pads with haptic feedback on it. It's got a touch screen in the middle that can display different things. It's got some shoulder buttons. I think it's got 2 shoulder buttons. It's got 4 face buttons in a kind of weird configuration, and then a few buttons down at the bottom. And what I've heard,
an odd-looking thing.
What I've heard from people is that some folks that have gotten their hands on it is that they're using the haptic feedback on it on the pads to try to like simulate texture, because they don't have any buttons on there, but then you can map virtual buttons on there and then use this haptic feedback as a way to let people's thumbs know when they're on top of a button or something. I don't want to really make any judgment until I hold it in my hand, because
I'm skeptical.
You gonna judge?
I'm gonna judge. Yeah,
it's also got some weird touch things on the back of it. I don't know. Like, I have weird feelings because we've talked before on the show about how we've all spent, a good 20 years learning how to use these controllers.
Yeah.
And so when something new is presented, our first response is pretty much always like, kill it with fire.
Exactly.
Get that thing the fuck out of here.
Do I need to start chewing on it? Like, that doesn't work.
I don't know. Like, it depends on whether, it's obviously going to be one of those things that takes some getting used to, because even looking at it, like, my thumbs start to quiver when I look at it. Like, that doesn't.
It looks like an iPod dock.
It looks like it's speakers.
Yeah.
It looks like cog armor from fucking Gears of War.
They should just drop this and we all go back to the space orb.
Oh, that globe on a stick thing?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That thing. I didn't even have one of those. I don't know. Like, it definitely seems like their whole design aesthetic was, let's make this thing as programmable as possible, so that the controller can be flexible instead of having a control set that is bound to these specific sets of inputs, which is interesting. Whew, I just don't know, man. That's fucking weird looking. I want to get one. I want to get one in my hands and find out what it's all about. But I don't know. Add these 3 things up together. What do you think? You think Steam's got the clout to take a dent out of the market?
That's a big push.
Yeah. Especially with the reduction in prices of consoles and the kind of the spread over the last 10 years of consoles into people's houses.
Yeah. Well, I think there's still a lot of awareness that they're going to have to overcome.
Yeah.
You know? Like a lot of awareness.
Oh, just
from the public.
Right. Just training people about the fact that there is one of these things and they should buy it. I don't know. What if they came out? What if the whole thing was, what if you could get the set bottom streaming box and a controller for like $100?
That sounds awesome.
And that would
that sounds great.
That would be like, you already have to have the PC to be able to play this shit. It's just going to be streaming. But
yeah.
I don't know. Wait, let's say, since I have a PC and I play some PC games, but you haven't really been engaged in PC gaming for a while now.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So let me ask you, like, what would be the price point to make you consider, like, okay, so we know that when the console, Rage Select is getting the consoles when they come out, you're going to get one of those. But let's say that you were just a free consumer when these new consoles came out. Would you consider, if they had a $400 or $500 version of this Steam box that was able to run at the same speed that the Xbox One and PS4 was, getting this in lieu of one of those consoles?
No.
Why not?
Because they're rare. Well, maybe.
You don't do a whole hell of a lot with friends and stuff, so it's not like you'd be losing a big thing. You'd be gaining access to some older games, because I guess that's the one big advantage to this is it'll be backwards compatible, right?
I would say no.
No?
Red Dead Redemption never came out on the PC.
Red Dead Redemption.
Fuck you, Steam.
But you still have your Xbox 360.
It's true.
Like, instead of a PS4, would you consider?
What about when Red Dead Redemption 2 comes along?
It'll be
screw me again?
Well, they didn't release the GTA 5 day and date, so
yeah.
I don't know. Well, let me ask you this. So you get whatever your first one. PS4? Is that
probably
PS4.
your
first one?
Yeah.
Would you consider getting one of these before you got the other console first?
I would consider it. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really interested to see what this does, because, well,
I want to get my hands on the controller, because it could be just a clusterfuck.
That would be the other question, as to whether or not they see, Valve doesn't seem to me as to be the sort of company that would push this weird control schema to the detriment of their cost. So I mean, once this is Jeff talking out his ass, I would assume that they're still going to have support for the wired Xbox controllers.
You would
on.
think, yeah.
And then I'm still curious about whether the
Like, hey, you know that shit you're used to doesn't work anymore.
yeah, but whether the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One controllers will work on the PC.
Oh yeah.
And whether they'll even have, because I think they stopped manufacturing the wired. I had a hard fucking time finding one of those things. So I don't know, but it would be nice to see somebody else, especially somebody with a track record like Valve, come in. I mean, they've been pushing all kinds of stuff. They had that family sharing thing.
Yeah.
You could share your games out.
They're making a big play.
I'm going to have to get you a PC so that you get access to my Steam library.
I can't wait for like the higher ups. I just want to see like a reaction video of them watching the announcements of like the higher ups at Sony and Microsoft, just kind of like, wait, what? What are you? what the hell do they think they're doing? What are you doing?
Like they've broken the truce between the Starks and the Lannisters and shit. Like, wait, you guys have the PC and we get everything else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking forward to it. And I really want to put my hands on one of these controllers and just see, because it should be, I don't know. It'll be a question of whether it's, you play for a day and you get used to the control scheme, or whether it's something that we're never going to get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the response of the analog sticks putting your thumb back into a neutral position when you kind of let up on it. The fact that it returns to a neutral position instead of having to, I mean, I don't know if you're going to have to, if you move your thumb to the left, if you're going to have to pick it up and then put it back down, or if it's
or can you slide
it back and forth. Like, is it going to break that synesthesia that you have of the controller TV interface having this really weird thing? But it looks cool. I don't know. Another piece of black plastic for my black plastic collection.
Exactly. Jeff loves black plastic. That's why he's into games.
So much black. I was the other day. I was walking around my house with my Kindle Paperwhite and my my Droid Razr Max with these two black tablets, and one in each hand, just going like, everything I own's a black piece of plastic with a screen in it. Like, goddamn. I think I want the new PlayStation to come in one color and have it just be like bright red or something. Just like, fuck it.
Yeah, that'd go over real well.
No, you nerds, you just gotta deal with this, man.
All the Call of Duty fanboys would lose their shit.
I don't have to just red fucking console, man. Yeah. Of course, we've talked before about how I don't really give a shit. It could be pink with Hello Kitty all over it. It's going under my TV, and then I'm never going to see it again. So, all right. Well, our next story here, speaking of consoles, sort of, is a story that Gaikai, you remember Gaikai?
Vaguely.
The streaming service that Sony bought.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like On Live. Is that there was a news story that Sony, or actually, let's see, this is from Sony Computer Entertainment Worldwide Studios, that they want to try to use this Gaikai streaming service to start bringing PlayStation to try to start divorcing PlayStation games from the hardware platform. So specifically, they talk in this article about PCs, TVs, Blu-ray players, smartphones, and tablets. And the thing in that list that really got my attention was the first one. Like, if they start to be able to actually use the streaming service effectively, could you just buy a PlayStation account for your PC and run it on your PC instead of having to even have a console? Like, divorcing the PlayStation brand from the actual console, I don't know. This seems like the opposite of what Steam is doing.
Yeah.
Like bringing PlayStation to the PC instead of bringing Steam to the console kind of realm. I don't know. It's just one of more
That's
of those.
a weird thought.
I wonder how. The biggest question is just going to be whether it works, whether they have the latency issues worked out to the point where it feels natural to run this stuff. Yeah, we hope to continue to expand not only to Sony devices, but even to devices other than Sony's, which is also incredibly interesting. Well, like if they want to put that streaming shit in a TV, right? That wouldn't just be Sony TVs. Like what a weird world, man. Like you can buy a Samsung TV and sign up for an account to this like HBO Go style Sony service where you can play all these games and
old man rant. It's coming. It's coming.
For me?
For me.
Oh, from you?
This is so complicated.
Oh.
Remember you just turn on your TV?
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Done.
But it's not complicated. It's less complicated.
Is it?
What if you just buy a TV?
Is it, Jeff?
I don't know. Seems less complicated to me.
I don't know.
As the guy who sets up our recording, dragging boxes up and down steps and plugging them into various TVs, like just being able to turn on a TV and go to like the PlayStation channel, turn on a controller, and boom, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's very Pollyanna, I think.
Yeah. You think it's going to be a bunch of hoops? Bunch of bad hoops.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't see everyone getting their interface all on the same page. And I mean, I've got this. I've got a TV, and then I've got a Blu-ray player that has like Amazon and Netflix and stuff like that on it. And it's like, okay, well, you got to authorize it for this. You got to authorize it for this. And it's like, all right, now sign in for this. Okay, now we're checking, and it's kind of a hassle. And when you start dealing with more and more, third parties all mingling together. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of just user interface kludge, just a complete clusterfuck.
Let me ask you a question: if instead of dealing with actual hardware, if all you were dealing with, if that was all you were dealing with, is that instead of, I don't know. I think that if the streaming stuff works out, that like I've said before, that we could be seeing the end of the actual hardware box and the necessity to have a processor in something to drive it. And I like that idea because it means that, I mean, technically, if you miniaturized enough of the circuitry and streaming stuff, you could have just like a controller that had an HDMI port in it where you just logged on to whatever game service you wanted to play and then plug it into whatever the fuck you want to, TV or tablet or whatever.
I mean, that's a good idea, but and it probably will come eventually, but you and I are going to be dead.
No!
Or unable to play video games.
I'm not going to be dead. I'm going to live forever, Jason. That's why I eat all that Wendy's.
Yeah.
To live forever.
Mm-hmm. And cigarettes and the giant coffee you have.
Yeah. Giant coffee, cigarettes, booze, and a lot of Panda Express.
Yeah,
Panda Express will make you live forever.
Oh, you're immortal.
That's right. Hey, by the way, do you ever go to Panda Express?
I've been once or twice.
Yeah. I saw like 4 people ahead of me in line at Panda Express, and they got that, the orange chicken at Panda Express.
Yeah.
You know how bad that shit is for you?
Probably real bad.
Like, actually, I looked up what's in a lot of Panda Express, and it's hard to. I'm sorry, this is a weird tangent, but it's hard to fuck up beef with broccoli.
Yeah,
because everybody knows what broccoli looks like, right?
Yes.
But it's just like,
why is this a white triangle? It's broccoli. No, it's not.
But like,
it's a broccoli flavored wafer.
Take some chicken, deep fry it, and then cover it in sugar sauce. Essentially,
shit, yeah.
So terrible for you.
Now I got to go to Panda Express. You just do this without me. I got to run.
Pick me up some beef with broccoli while you're over there. But I don't know. I've actually the thing that I'm most excited about all of Gaikai is the idea that you might be able to use Gaikai to stream like old PS3 games.
Yeah.
Use that as your backwards compatibility instead of having to run the code there.
Sure.
I don't know. I'd like to. I'm interested to see where this shit goes.
Yeah, that'd be rad. But there's internet infrastructure has got to get better.
Well, it's getting better here. Next
it is
year.
Getting better here.
Woot, woot.
Yeah. Too bad we are not the entirety of the market.
We're the entirety of the market. This is the market right here.
This is the hub of gaming.
New York, Los Angeles, Austin, Texas.
Yep.
That's what a lot of
Kansas City, Missouri.
In Kansas City. Really?
That's where they've got the Google Fiber.
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know why they rolled it out there first. That's weird.
I don't understand.
Anyway, all right. Well, moving on. We've got a couple of games to talk about here. We saw some trailers. I thought we'd get back into that trailer thing because the trailer for Sniper Elite 3, call it a teaser, really. It wasn't really a gameplay trailer, but
it looked fun.
It's the return of the butt sniper.
Oh, man.
The anal scharfschützen.
God, I want to get a sniper rifle.
Yep.
I want to get like a Barrett. A friend of mine actually convinced his parents to buy him a Barrett sniper rifle.
How old is he?
He was 30 at the time.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He was like 30, and he convinced them it was for clearing like wild hogs and stuff off of their property.
Uh-huh.
And it off of their like rental property in Central Texas, this like ranch land.
Uh-huh.
He pulled it out. I think he only shot it once.
Right.
And then never shot it again.
Because it fucked up his shoulder?
Well, that.
Yeah.
But he shot at this tree that was like way the fuck out there, and it destroyed the tree, then destroyed the giant like oak tree behind it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. And around that time, the guy that lives over the hill comes over the hill wondering what the hell that noise was. And he was right in the line of fire. So my friend's like, oh, okay, I'm going to disassemble this.
Yeah.
This is too much power for me to wield.
I mean, that's the thing, is that the Barrett, as like 50 caliber sniper rifle, as I understand it, it's not meant for hunting at all. It's really meant for destroying things.
Yes.
Like,
that's why I have to have one.
what are you going to destroy with it?
Gathering of the Juggalos.
No.
Come
What you
on.
need, you need like a saw for the Gathering of the Juggalos.
A saw?
Yeah.
Like a chainsaw?
No, like the machine gun.
Oh, the machine gun saw.
SAW, yeah.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. You need something with a lot of rounds that you can shoot over and over and over again.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking to do. Or, gasoline. Or
Gasoline's good.
a keg of Faygo with a little ricin in it.
Yes.
Oh, God, please don't let that happen. I don't want to have to talk to the FBI. So, yeah, Sniper Elite 3, it looks like it's taking place in Africa, the African leg of World War II.
Right. With Rommel and all that fun stuff.
At least the trailers seemed like they were driving across the desert and stuff. I don't want to stereotype, but it's a World War II game in the desert. It probably has something to do with the Africa Corps.
Oh, it said Africa in the trailer.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the Nazis.
Yeah, no, it said Africa in the trailer.
Okay. So, yeah, Sniper Elite 3. I'm glad there is a 3 because it took, like, long time to get from 1 to 2.
It did. Can't wait to tear some balls off.
Yep. And now, Jason Murphy is going to be unimpressed and salty. This is a trailer. Legacy of Kain is your favorite game ever.
It's I love the original Legacy of Kain. It was very problematic, and I'm sure it doesn't hold up. But I loved that world. Then I played Soul Reaver, and the controls were just dog shit.
Yeah.
Because of the camera. The camera was bad, so I didn't play any of the series after that.
Wait, the second one, that was one with Raziel, right?
Soul Reaver.
Okay. Weren't there like 3 of those?
Yeah, there's like Soul Reaver 2, and then like Blood Omen 2, and just, there were like 3 or 4 after the original Legacy of Kain.
Okay.
I didn't play any of them. I played Soul Reaver.
So wait, the Legacy of Kain was like the first one.
Yeah, it was like a top-down on the PS1.
Okay, yeah, like a top-down RPG.
And it was dark and weird, and the first game I'd ever played like that. And it was like back in 95, 96, something like that.
Find out.
And that one was a hell of a lot of fun. It had its problems, but I hadn't seen it. Had great voice acting and a cool story.
Okay.
Yeah, it was excellent. And then with the next one, they went to I think it was like third person over the shoulder view, and there was lots of jumping mechanics.
Yeah.
But when you would jump, the camera would pivot, and it would throw your perspective off, and I would have trouble making the jumps every time. So I was just like, all right, fuck you.
Okay, and so now they're making a new one called Nosgoth,
which is named after the land that everything is set in.
Okay, and it's
free-to-play online combat stuff.
Yeah, it's multiplayer, humans versus vampires, and boy, the trailer, a lot of people gesticulating wildly around.
Yeah. They were all very excited. And the graphics looked shitty.
Did they?
I thought it just looked all muddy and gross.
Well, so needless to say, you're not really super excited. No. You don't want to play as a vampire in a versus. I'm kind of wondering, like, do these games, is this style of game when they release like this free to play and it's one faction versus the other? Do these things make money?
I don't know.
I don't know anybody who's a fan of them.
I don't either. I mean,
like, they're Counter-Strike, okay, and Team Fortress, sure, but
yeah, but I've seen games where it's like, oh, you can only play this character class,
right?
You know, and then you have to buy the others, and you play that for a while, then maybe you buy one of the others, and you're just like, no, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. Plus, it seems like if they were going to try to reinvigorate the Legacy of Kain franchise, that they would be better off. I mean, everybody that I know that's ever played those games,
they're all enamored with the story.
They love the story, right? So why would you concentrate on just the multiplayer combat aspect, which
vampires versus humans?
They also had this thing where they made the vampires look really awesome, and they kept saying that, like, the humans are very powerful as well. And I was like, they don't look real powerful,
Yeah, the
bro.
trailer was vampires. They're amazing. They can use weapons, and they are weapons, or some shit like that. you know? And then it's like, oh, but the humans are good too.
No, they're not. They don't suck. We swear. Legacy of Kain Defiance was the last one, 2003.
Really?
Yep.
Was that long ago?
Yep.
Damn.
So
I didn't
don't
realize
know.
it was that long ago.
It's weird to me because I never got into the franchise.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people. Seems like when people do get into the franchise, they're real big fans of it. But I don't know. So you're giving it a tentative.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it at all. Just whatever.
All right.
I never did try any of the other ones, and I probably missed out because some of those looked kind of cool, but I was just so soured on Soul Reaver.
Yeah.
And its controls. There was a lot to like about Soul Reaver, but those controls were such a pain in the ass.
I played Soul Reaver, and I remember I got pissed at some kind of jumping puzzle, or it's one of those things where I don't really, when you're playing Uncharted or Tomb Raider or something like that, and they put you like in the giant, it's the ancient room, and you've got to move stuff around to open a door. I don't like those sequences.
Yeah, that's what Soul Reaver was.
Yeah, and that was all that Soul Reaver was.
And you would have to jump from one place to the other, but as you did, the camera would pivot to be all cinematic.
Right.
But as I recall, you would have to move along with the camera to compensate with the analog stick. Like in mid-jump.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's just disgusting. It's one of the reasons to also, that sort of game, that was what...
Of course, it's been 15 years since I played it, so I could be totally wrong.
Ico was, right?
Did it do that as well?
No. It was one of those games where they shove you in a room and you got to figure out how to puzzle your way
that's
out
all
of it.
Ico was.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why, to this day, I haven't played that.
Yeah, you're wrong and stupid.
Well, I'm sorry. I played Shadow of the Colossus. I love Shadow of the Colossus.
Well, you need to play Ico/Eco, whatever you want to call it. You need to play that.
Why?
I liked it better than Shadow of the Colossus.
Why?
Just so the story was really gripping.
But the gameplay.
Well, if you didn't like the gameplay, whatever,
I never got that far. I never got that far into it. It just seemed like it was going to go on for a long time.
It does that
now
for a long
solve
time.
this room full of like crazy.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't like that, there's no getting around.
Maybe I'll watch a YouTube video of the story, or I don't know. I don't like to do that.
You're not going to have the same experience.
All right. Here's another sad story about video games. Apparently, they were making an HD Day of the Tentacle remake, and it was 80% done when LucasArts was shut down.
That's like, that is akin to going to Subway. And you're like, oh, man, I remember one time I had this perfect sandwich.
Right.
And there's the guy that made it.
Uh-huh.
He did some special mojo to it. There's the guy that made it.
Right.
Dude, make that sandwich for me again. And he shows you, and he lays out the bread, and then he puts all of these delicious meats and artisanal cheeses on there.
What Subway are you going to? This sounds way better than
just stick with me.
Okay.
And then he's putting stuff on there, and then he's like, you want any salt and pepper on that? I was like, yeah, a little bit. Get the fuck out! Like, wait, what? Leave! And then he throws it in the trash, and you're never getting this sandwich. And then he burns down the fucking Subway, kicks you in the balls, and said, guess you're going to have to go to Wendy's. Sucker! That's what happened. That's what happened.
You paint a very vivid mental picture, Jason.
That's what happened with Day of the Tentacle.
I don't know. We still have...
And Star Wars 1313.
We still have Day of the Tentacle. I'm going to tell you right now, there was another story that came out a week ago or something about how they confirmed that Star Wars 1313 was all about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. I wanted just some, crime noir storytelling and not because once you bring in any of the Star Wars, the actual the big Star Wars characters, and Boba Fett's, kind of cult character,
sure.
right? It's like I feel like the storytellers then become trapped. Like there's you can't kill Boba Fett. So the storytelling becomes well, they're not going to kill off Boba Fett because it's Boba Fett.
Right.
I know he's going to survive.
Yeah,
it's like if you have
that's a good point.
Some kind of story that has Luke Skywalker in between episode 4 and 5, and you're like, well,
right.
I don't have a lot of fear about whether Luke is going to come out of this or not,
Still, it could have been so fun.
Yeah.
It looked awesome.
Yeah. I was
could have been a travesty. I don't know, but it looked great.
Well, there have been a lot of really shitty Star Wars games.
Oh, name 20.
All right,
here we go.
Let's see, Star Wars Starfighter, Legend, Terrace Kasi, Yoda Adventures. Let's see, Pod Racer, What was that Destruction Derby one that they put out?
Oh.
I'm sorry, people, but Shadows of the Empire on the N64 is
shitty.
not a fun game.
Everybody looks at that through rose-colored glasses.
It's not really a fun game. Okay, that's only 6. I'm not going to go all the way.
That's 6, but I think you could.
I think there are 20 out there.
I think there are.
If I open up the Wikipedia page, Force Commander, obviously,
Commander, dog shit.
Yep. I still have a real hard time. You will start count Star Wars Galaxies in there.
Yeah,
so
Star Wars
mixed. I used to work on that game. So
I know.
Mixed. What was the one? All right, never mind.
Yeah,
continue here.
There were 20.
We could do this for a long
There were
time.
easily 20 bad Star Wars games.
Yep.
Empire Strikes Back on the Atari.
That wasn't bad. That was just old.
It was horrible.
All right, our next. This is kind of going to be a. Give me a second here. I closed closed up my window before we got started here, but there was a Nintendo Direct today. So,
Oh boy!
you watched the Nintendo Direct,
No,
Jason?
No, why would I? Let me guess. There's another Mario something coming.
We're gonna go down this
talk about Smash
pretty
Brothers.
fucking fast.
Okay, do
all
it.
right, Super Mario 3D World. They showed a new trailer. They showed some levels and some stuff in it.
It was actually pretty fun. I want to play it again.
Yeah, they showed. They actually had something. They showed a power up in there that looked pretty cool, where it was like you got another Mario.
Oh, really?
So there was like you got this one power up. There were 2 Marios, and then there was another one where you had one, and there were 3 Marios, and they all shot the fireballs, and there
Yeah.
were 3 fireballs. It was like, okay, that's pretty creative. I mean, like, I don't really care about Cat Mario. Cat Mario kind of sucked my dick,
Yeah.
but Princess was in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I suck your dick, Jeff.
That was probably the best thing that I saw in here. And then they went on to, I skimmed over this, guys. I'm not going to watch all fucking hour of Nintendo Direct because
Yeah.
a lot of this I don't give a shit about. Wii Party U, it's basically Mario Party with Wii's
Right.
on the Wii U. Comes with a,
Keep it away from me.
check this out.
Okay.
I
Comes
grab the controller.
Comes with a 18-year bottle of Yamazaki.
No.
And I'll buy it.
Comes with a horizontal stand
Okay.
for the Wii U pad where you can set it down on a table.
Right.
Because they've created some games where it's like you have this stick and I have this stick and we're doing like Rock'em Sock'em Robots or like
Okay.
Wii U football where you're like, oh, get over there. And I'm like, so you've created this next generation input device. You've boiled it down to, what's the shitty
Hungry hippos.
not Hungry Hippos. What's the football game where you put the guys on the electric things? Yeah. Or foosball. You know, like we already had foosball Nintendo.
Yeah.
There's some new Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze. Needs some more time to develop. It's coming out February of next year. Instead of this year.
Yeah, it was what I played was fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was Donkey Kong Country.
I see that's my sin.
That it was Donkey Kong Country and you don't care.
I don't like Donkey Kong Country.
I always thought it was a fun side scroller.
Yeah.
It's nothing special.
I kind of felt the same way. It's just that I got real tired of people all up in my grill about, how,
Yeah.
oh God, it's so good. I'm like, I think I'd rather
it's
just
all
play
right.
Super Mario World. Like,
Yeah.
Mario and Sonic Wii U, I think it's the Olympic thing. I'll watch a little bit of the trailer for it.
Good. I'm sure everybody's
It's an
waiting
online
for that one.
mode, blah, blah, blah. Sonic is confirmed to be in the new Smash Brothers game.
Oh, thank God.
I don't know if you've been looking at what they also had.
That's exactly what we need to make that game more frenetic and crazy.
I think he was in the last one. I think they also confirmed Wind Waker, Link, the
Okay.
Princess Peach, a few other, I don't know.
Oh, you know, I played PlayStation All-Stars again the other day.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I know. I was at a birthday party, and they popped it out, and everybody was playing against each other.
Did you have fun? Did you
No.
whoop ass?
No, I fucking sucked at it still.
Yeah?
I sucked.
Well, maybe when Smash Brothers comes out, you can be like the regional Southwest champion of Smash Brothers for the Wii U.
Yeah, I got shit to do.
I'll give you the Wii U. You can practice at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You give it to me. I'm not even taking it out of my truck. I'll just be like, all right, yeah, it's still on the floorboard.
It's just a melted pile of goop from the Texas sun.
Yeah.
All right, Pikmin 3 will be patching in new mission levels and one free and some DLC.
Is this where you take the little Pikmin and give them slave names?
No,
Oh,
they
okay.
vetoed that one.
Never mind.
Let's see. There was a bunch of third-party announcements that were things that we've already seen before.
Yeah.
But I watched it. It was boring. I mean, I'm sorry. I really I want to be
You
more.
just can't give Nintendo a fair shake.
It's not that. It's I just want to be more excited, but they just keep saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Where it's like there's going to be what the Etrigan Odyssey 4 is coming to the 3DS, and it's going to have all the updates from something. And I'm like, okay, great. Arkham Origins Blackgate, which I played at E3 and thought was kind of dog shit. It's gonna
that's
come to
right.
the 3DS.
Yeah.
Like, hooray! There was a story last week that. What was it? Arkham Origins is coming to the Wii U, but they're only going to charge you $50 because they're taking the multiplayer out of it. But that wasn't in this Nintendo Direct. I mean, it was just stuff like that. It's stuff that's like, I feel like there hasn't been a big reveal that Nintendo has done that has just been them revealing the obvious next iteration of whatever game franchise they already have in a while. So yeah, we'll
Man,
see.
can you imagine being a kid right now and being the only kid on your block that has a Wii U? When all of your other friends, well, I'm getting the PS4. Well, I've got my Wii U, and my dad says it's just good enough for my family. And it's like, oh, really? You got Batman Arkham Origins as well? Yeah, I've got it. It doesn't have multiplayer. It's just like, God, give your kid a fucking inferiority complex. Why don't you just buy them an Intellivision, for fuck's sake? Shitty parents.
See, I don't know, man. I'm of the impression that, like, that's the reason that I don't get real excited with this stuff is because I feel like Nintendo has been marketing their stuff towards younger gamers for a while now.
Yeah.
Or people, and, like, every time this topic comes up, invariably somebody gets a little butthurt about it. And it's like, they seem to be marketing towards younger gamers and people who haven't yet lost the luster of Nintendo.
Yeah.
There was a long time, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, GameCube. I mean, I skipped the N64, but there was a long time where I was in that same camp of just like, if it's Nintendo, it's quality. And then I got tired of playing Mario games.
Yeah.
It was just like, I don't
Well,
care.
you know, I can't wait to see the news. It'll be probably on Christmas Day this year. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some child who murders his family for getting him a Wii U instead of the other two. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
He just straight up kills them.
You know, has that ever, okay.
I would have done it.
You've just brought to mind a very specific feeling that I haven't felt in a long time. So you remember when you were a kid,
Yeah.
and you wanted the thing for Christmas,
Yep.
right? Mm-hmm. And your parents got you the wrong
knockoff
thing.
Yeah. I wanted laser tag. I got photon. Yeah.
and like,
I didn't even want to show anybody.
and this is, and
it's like I can play with it, but it's only in my closet.
and it's the worst thing too because your parents they thought they did right by you,
Yeah.
and you're so excited, and you open it up and you think that's going to be the laser tag, and then when you get it open, you're like, your face just kind of falls, and you're like,
and you can't. Kids don't hide that.
well, even when I was old enough, you know, it was like I hide that, hit it, but you just have to be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're like, oh, this is the one, and you're like, I'm so excited. You don't want to be a dick to them on Christmas of like, take it back.
I don't know. If your parents get you a Wii U,
Be a dick to
instead
them.
of one of the other ones, it's like, great, you just fucked me for the next 4 years, Mom and Dad. You just fucked me. My social life is fucked.
You're what's wrong with America, Jason.
It's
You're
true,
like those
though.
kids on My Sweet 16, those little monsters.
Nah,
They're
if you
just
get,
like,
if you get a PS4, great, awesome, yeah. If you get an Xbox One, kick ass. Thanks, Mom and Dad. You get a Wii U, you're just like, oh, that's fucking, I hate you. And you just better just like run away. Just run away from home.
okay, listen, if you were standing in a room where a kid opened up a Wii U on Christmas,
Yeah.
and he was like, fuck you, Mom and Dad, you ruined my life, you
Yeah.
know you would punch that kid in the fucking face.
Probably so.
And be like, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
At least until tomorrow, you little shit. Like,
Yeah.
have a Christmas with your family
Yeah.
and be a man,
I
all
would.
right?
I would. I'd like suck it up and be a man. You
Right.
know? But then a part of me would be like, I mean, you're right.
Or you be Uncle Jason where you pull him aside and be like, come here.
Yeah.
We'll take this back tomorrow, and I'll put the extra money down.
Yeah.
And I'll get you the $100
Exactly.
on.
Don't be a dickhead. We'll
Right.
handle this.
Yeah, don't be a dick. Nothing worse than when you see kids where they get a present and they're just like, "No, I didn't want
Oh, and
this."
they lose their
It's just
shit. Oh, I know. Yeah, that's the
Ooh,
worst.
that wasn't allowed in my household. This is
Yeah.
back when the parents punched their kids.
Oh yeah, God. I would have something like that. I would have gotten like genital mutilation or something.
All right, in spite of me trying to go fast, we're going along. Let's skip through the rest of this. Animal Zone has some new shit that they're adding to, or Animal Crossing has some new shit they're adding to it. make a sewing machine, or you get a sewing machine and you can make stuff.
No.
New trailer for Bravely Default, which is the only thing I care about because Bravely Default's a new IP, and I'm like, I like new IP.
Yeah.
Zelda: Link Between Worlds, which is the Link to the Past sequel.
Mm-hmm.
You can now change. You yourself can change the way you play. You can earn items in dungeons, but have a chance to buy these items. That sounds terrible. I didn't actually watch this part of it.
Really?
And then
With real money?
No, I bet with money in the thing.
Oh, okay.
And there's a new Kirby game coming to 3DS.
Great.
Are you excited?
Nope.
Are you surprised?
Nope.
Are you out of your mind with excitement?
It's like going to a restaurant. It's like, oh, and by the way, our special of the day, salt.
Yeah.
You get table salt.
Yep.
It's like, really? You guys have salt? Oh, wow.
Yep. So that was Nintendo Direct. I wish I could be more excited, but seriously, like, you know when I'll get excited? New Metroid. I want a new Metroid game. Maybe a new Zelda game. Like, not a remake of the previous Zelda games, but we can make an honest-to-God game that doesn't involve me waving my arms around like a jackass with a Wii controller.
Yeah.
Where I get to just use the analog sticks like God intended you to.
That's not happening. Those bitches are doubling down.
Maybe Castlevania? No, they've already got it.
I was about to say,
no.
You went to E3, remember?
Yeah, I even played Lords of Shadow 2 at E3. I'm trying to think, what other things? What other...
Kid Icarus? No.
Kid Icarus? I was interested...
Ice Climber.
I was interested in that last Kid Icarus, but they had, remember, the stand to put it on because of the way that you were using it. It's like you use the stylus to shoot, and then you would hold it with one hand, and so your wrist would get tired. So
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
3DS, so they had a stand to put it on. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know at this point what they... Metroid. Give me some more Metroid. All right, and it wouldn't be the Rage Select podcast. We didn't have a few pieces of Xbox news. I'm going to skip this one because it's stupid. But the Kinect can understand two people talking at once, apparently.
Oh, that's cool.
In the dark with the lights off, apparently, says this article.
That's an improvement.
Yep. Xbox One can pick up two people speaking at once and discern what each one is saying.
And knows when you're talking
where's
about
the
it.
PP? Yeah, here. It can not only hear two people speaking at once and understand two people speaking at once, said new technology lead developer Nick Burton. It can also see if their mouths are moving in a completely dark room. And that allows us to do crazy levels of detail. For porn? Why would you need to see me my lips moving in a totally... Who's playing in a dark room with no light? Xbox porn. Xbox porno. I actually read an article not too long ago.
There's going to be new Kinect will watch you while you poop.
Yep. Bathroom. Was that the revenge of people when they find out there's some API where Xbox is snooping on everybody, and everybody just gets this remote kit to put the Kinect in the toilet? I actually read an article from, I think it was on Kotaku, of some folks that were invited up to Microsoft to play with the new Kinect.
Mm-hmm.
Said it didn't work with a shit. Like they were playing a 2-player rock climbing game, and that the limbs were doing crazy, were shaking all around because it couldn't tell between the two of them, and that the guy that was demoing it had to repeat the same thing 3 or 4 times to get it to listen to what he was saying.
I believe it.
And that even when they were playing single player, the rock climbing, it wasn't really super responsive. And this is like a couple months from launch.
Yeah.
So I hope that Kinect doesn't... Actually, I don't know if I hope that it doesn't suck. I kind of hope that it does suck. I hope that we finally get to a point where they've tried so hard and spent... I want the new CEO of the Xbox Games division to come in and just be like, shut this shit down.
Right.
It's been $10 billion and nobody gives a shit about the Kinect. Shut it down now.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck this. We'll jack into the camera on your Windows phone if you really want to play Fruit Ninja in your living room. Fuck the rest of this. So, whew. All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's take a quick break. We're going to take a real fast break, and then we're going to get to the emails.
All right.
That people have sent. So we will be right back. I have some advice for all the kids out there, Jason.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Don't let your parents get you a Wii U.
Don't let your parents get you a Wii U for Christmas. No, don't ever register yourself as like a company on file somewhere. I got 2 phone calls while we were doing the first half of this podcast, and I was like, it's like, is this number? And I was like, I don't know what this is. And then like 30 minutes later, I got another call. And I'm like, well, somebody's trying to get in touch with me or whatever. And so in the break, I called, and it was just like, some market research. Like, everybody wants to sell me cash registers. They're like, do you need a POS system? And I'm like, no, I sell T-shirts on a website. I don't give a shit.
I imagined it was Don Matrick calling you from outside the liquor store going, you think you're so fucking funny, don't you?
Dude, Don Matrick, that dude's got Zynga money now. He didn't even give a shit about us. Oh, my God. 2 guys in Austin are talking shit about me on a podcast. Of course, I need to find out what Don Matrick looks like so that if he's ever standing outside my door, I could just be like, go away, Don. Go away, Don. Don, I'm not letting you in here.
You open the door, Jeff.
You'd be like, I have a free Xbox One if you just open the door. I know, Don, I'm not falling for that.
Does it have the Kinect? Yes, it does. Fuck off.
Fuck off, Don. All right, well, I tell you what, let's get on to the questions. Actually, there's one other question that I wanted to pull up, but I'll do it later. I told that guy, were you here the last time I told somebody, if you stop emailing me, I'll ask your question.
Yeah.
And he'd stopped emailing me.
Okay.
So I will ask his question. But let's go through this other one first. First one is from Tony, and this is, Dear Jeff and Jason, while video game adaptations of film properties are usually shit, occasionally an enjoyable one slips by. Games like Ghostbusters, a video game, and The Godfather are by no means AAA titles, but are still fun to play and do the source material some justice. What do you feel is the key for a movie to make a successful transition to a video game adaptation? Thank you for reading, Tony.
I think the key is very clear.
Yep.
No time limit where it has to release along with a movie launch, where they just obey the usual restrictions of putting out a game.
It's funny. I actually kind of disagree.
You're okay.
Mostly because of the Wanted video game. Did you play that?
No.
Where they said, I
don't think so.
Pandemic, I think that might have been making it, where they were like, we don't have the time limit of where it has to come out. Same with the movie. We're going to make this game. We're going to make it right. And it was better than most licensed games, but it was still not a very good game.
Okay.
Honestly, the only games that I've seen that are really good just seem to be when people care. That, to me, is the big thing. Like, the difference between when you're just some developer that made something and they're like, guess what? You're going to make the Avengers 2 game. And you're like, we've already started work on this cool game about a zombie private detective or whatever.
Right.
And they're like, no, you're making this game. Fuck yourself. That if it's a place, I mean, because like Riddick, which I think both of us probably put up there as the best licensed game of all time. As opposed to, what is yours? That's mine. That's probably the best movie licensed game I ever played.
Oh, now wait. Was it movie licensed? Was it like plotted after the movie?
No.
Well, okay, then Arkham City.
Well, no, but it was a tie-in to the movie franchise.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
As opposed
Batman was really just a tie-in to the
Batman.
comics.
Yeah.
Just a licensed property rather than a movie tie-in. Yeah.
Riddick
or Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, pretty good. Yeah. I need to go back and play Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
because everybody keeps bringing it up, and I'm like,
I don't know if it'll hold up.
I don't remember it being good, but I don't remember it being quite as good as everybody seems to think when they talk about it.
It's been a long time,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I mean, there was some annoying shit about it, to be sure.
But in Riddick, it was like, Vin Diesel bought Starbreeze or whatever,
something like that.
Direct involvement with it. So I don't know. Yeah, I honestly feel like it's mostly just I wish that people would just quit buying them. So they would quit making them.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, is that people keep buying them because they're excited about whatever the movie is. I'm like, if we all just make a decision to not buy Episode 3, the game, then...
Yeah. Well, the original Super Nintendo, like Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi, those were great.
Yeah.
Those were great. But those were like way past the release of the films.
And well, the other thing is, I have a feeling that if the Super ones, the Super Star Wars, Super Empire, if those came out today, I'd be willing to bet, Jason... there'd be a huge number of people on the internet bitching and complaining about this is nothing like this is just some side-scrolling garbage. Garbage, man.
And very hard.
Yeah. Did you beat those games?
I did.
Yep. Me too. So, yeah, the answer to your question, I mean, development time probably is a factor in it. We haven't even seen that many of those recently, though, right? I mean, there wasn't a tie-in for any of the Nolan Batman. They had scrapped the one.
They scrapped that. They had an Avengers, and they scrapped that.
Yep. They didn't actually even have direct tie-ins.
Was there an Iron Man 3?
I don't believe there was.
I don't think there's
going to
be a Thor 2.
I don't believe Thor 2
or a new Captain America. They probably were just like, oh, God, what are we doing?
Were those the last?
Stop.
Were those the last ones that Captain America? This would be what 2011.
There was no Man
right?
of Steel.
There was no Man of. Yeah, there was no Superman.
I don't think there was an X-Men First Class.
Star Trek. The Star Trek game. Remember? Yeah, that was the last one.
There was that steaming pile.
But you know what? That I've played worse than that Star Trek game.
Sure,
it was bad. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was still pretty fucking
It was
bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're dying out as game development costs. People can be like, why are we going to spend all this money?
Yeah.
All right. Our next email comes in from the professional, and he says, Dear Rage Select family, first let me be straight up. I've lived and traveled alone since my early teenage years and wanted to thank you guys. Your hours of entertainment have been a great substitute for companionship both in the house and on the road. Yikes. I was curious about your opinion on external companion apps to games. While different developers utilize them to different levels, I feel it is a problem. Biggest negative example I have seen of this thus far is the iFruit app for GTA 5. Without this app, you cannot train Franklin's dog Chop, nor can you customize license plates. At the moment, this app reportedly functions poorly or almost never connects correctly. Although GTA is a massive 8-gigabyte game, I feel that Rockstar may have created this app to expand their traffic instead of simply overloading the game. Do you feel that this decision of core and companion games will become stronger and more brazen, or will market/technological issues help maintain our beloved status quo? Very respectfully, the professional, etc. P.S. He says, I got scary good with the helicopter GTA 5. Let me know if you need a pilot online.
I don't have any problem with those apps like, the iFruit and stuff like that. You're starting to see them more and more, but they always seem like just more of a bonus and not something you have to do, which is good because I usually just ignore them.
Yeah.
I toyed briefly with the idea of downloading iFruit, then I heard it didn't work well, and also it was only available on iOS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. That's what I heard. It's possible it could be.
Which I don't have an iPhone anymore. So, yeah, I don't usually bother with those. If there was something just really compelling, I would check it out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's harmless so long as they keep it, so long as they don't put it into any sort of position where it can cause harm.
I mostly feel like it's like I'm starting to really hate the second screen experience type of thing.
Oh yeah,
like when we were watching Breaking Bad the other day, and it's like start your second screen experience. I'm like, why?
I'd rather just watch the TV show.
I can only watch one screen at a time, bro. Like, maybe concentrate on that one screen instead of dicking around with more than one screen at a time. I almost feel like that's going to be the new 3D. You know how they were pushing 3D on us for a long period of time? Yeah. That now, I mean, like I saw a commercial for one of the more horrifying things in my life of they're bringing the Little Mermaid right back into theaters.
Yeah.
You saw, what I'm talking about?
I do.
They have certain theaters. It's going to be like, bring your kids with their tablets for a second screen. I'm like, it sounds like hell.
Yeah.
Hundreds of children with their fucking tablets. It's like, I'm going to hit Sebastian the Crab.
It's teaching kids poor behavior, but as long as it doesn't start proliferating into, I don't know, every theater.
When doesn't that seem to me like the sort of thing that I'm no psychiatrist, but like, if you want kids that are able to pay attention and don't have ADD and stuff like that,
yeah.
Maybe not encouraging them to try to watch two things at the same. I mean, haven't there been neurological studies that human beings really can only do one thing at a time?
Yeah. You're not really like Ozymandias and Watchmen.
Right. Like we pretend as multitasking, but what you're really doing is you're doing like four things poorly instead of any one of them very well.
Yes.
And that includes watching TV. You're not watching TV very well when you're dicking with your phone the entire time. I don't know. Then we go back to the guy that wanted to the movie critic guy that wanted all the second screen, wanted to go to movie theaters where they had the lights turned up halfway and you could use your phone, and you could use your laptop, and you could plug all that shit in.
I'd like to choke that dude.
I honestly,
not to death. Just give him a little choke,
just a little bit.
It's like, don't do it.
Well,
just think about when you talk, dude.
No, see, for me, I'm on the opposite. I say do it and make it explicit, to these theaters at this time. That way I don't have to get anywhere fucking near those people. Because chances are that if they really want that bad, they're probably going to be dicking with their phones in the movie theater anyway.
Yeah.
So at least put them all in the same movie theater together so they can enjoy each other's phones and talking and all that bullshit.
Mongrels.
And then I can go to the one where we all sit there and, and have... But on the other hand...
Philistines.
I've been threatened. Somebody threatened to kick me out of the Alamo Draft House if I didn't quit giggling. And I was like, all right. And whispering with my friends.
See, don't do that.
It was the Expendables.
Doesn't matter.
Fucking stupid. We were drunk.
Doesn't matter. Don't fucking do it, Jeff. Don't do it.
Why?
Don't do it.
It's why.
You don't talk during the movie.
It's a stupid fucking movie.
Doesn't matter. Do not talk during the movie.
All right.
It's somebody's fucking Shakespeare.
The Expendables.
Yeah.
The Expendables.
Yeah. Gotta be. And even if I'm watching a shit movie,
Yeah.
I don't want someone talking.
Yeah.
I want silence.
I think it was more the laughing thing because he said, if you don't quit giggling, I'm going to fucking kick you out or whatever. And I'm like, what? It's funny. It's the fucking Expendables.
Yeah.
Jason Statham just came out of the front of that plane and started shooting people while they're driving. It's stupid as fuck, man. Like, I laugh when I watch Commando. What? All right. Our next email here is from Angelo. And Angelo says, hello there, Jason, Jeff. First of all, I've been a fan of you guys. Wait, did we answer that guy's question? We totally answered that guy's question, right?
I don't know.
How do we feel about second screen on games?
No, that was kind of the last question.
No. That we answered that question though, right?
Oh, did we?
I am against it.
I'm against it.
Okay.
Yeah, we did answer it.
Okay. You said it didn't really bother you at first.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
As companion apps to
Companion
games or
apps,
whatever.
like if it's on your phone or whatever, as long as you're not required to use it.
Right. I'm going to go at him. Actually, you know what? I want to step back. I'm sorry, Angela. We'll come to your just a second. Actually, now that I think about it, I would like to walk back and I would like to raise my vehemence level up for the answer to this question. Fuck anything that's not in the game. If it's a game, it should be in the game. I hate the shit on Facebook that makes you like us on Facebook and we'll unlock this armor.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up for our email list. Register for the Rockstar Social Club.
Yeah.
Register for Saints Row Online. Register for this. Download this app on your phone. Do any... Fuck all
of that can
shit.
blow me. Yes.
All that shit
Agreed.
should die in a fucking fire.
Agreed.
All right. Good. We're on the same page. All right, Angelo. Hello there, Jason Jeff. First of all, I've been a fan of you guys since the other podcast. Tell you Rage Select is great. Good job. My question is about aha moments when solving a puzzle in games. Recently, Eco was free, or Ico. How do you say it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Was free for PlayStation Plus, so having abandoned the game a few years back, I decided to finally finish the thing. And one part, after running around and dragging that white bitch all over the goddamn place, I finally solved the waterfall puzzle by doing something ridiculously out of the box. Made me feel smart. Like, damn, I bet other people had to look that up online smart. Have you guys ever felt similarly in a game before? Anyway, keep the great content and stay classy. I mostly read this because, of course, you've felt that before. You've felt that before, right?
Absolutely.
The whole reason you play those games, like when you play Portal and you figure out what's going on and you're just like, boom.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. One of my earliest ones was actually with Zelda 2, Link's Adventure. Mm-hmm. And it was because you got to go through the end palace in a certain order.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, God, that place is a fucking nightmare.
It was so hard.
I mean,
it was just impossibly stupid.
That entire game, like finding the grave that you fall down to get stuff, and that was a hard one. I remember one of the earlier games that I can remember that had that sense in it was The Adventures of Lolo.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I went over to a friend's house the other night. Mm-hmm. He was playing The Adventures of Lolo.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you say, hey, bro, it's been 20 years. Why are you still trying to beat Lolo?
Yeah.
Like, nobody even knows what that game is. They just know the lol part of it. I don't know. It's funny, though, because I don't know if you've ever had to do this. Probably not. But sometimes when I'm trying to beat a game to review it, I don't have the luxury of figuring stuff out. Like, I will always try as hard as I can.
Yeah.
But if you're stuck on any one part of a game that's not skill-based, it's just to figure this shit out for more than, like, 45 minutes.
Right.
I got to go look it up online.
Yeah, see, I don't have the patience. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I tried it. I don't care. Where is it? Tell me the answer.
Yeah. And sometimes...
I have no patience anymore.
Sometimes that's detrimental. Like, some of the stuff out there, it's like I wish that I had more time to sit there and bang my head up against it, because it really is a wonderful feeling when you figure out that thing. It's one of the reasons why I'm sad that or that a lot of adventure games don't. I mean, there's still some indie adventure game stuff going on out there, but like
by and large.
But like, you know, that was one of the things I like, that feeling, and that feeling was gone in the Walking Dead game, right?
Oh, right.
Because the adventure elements were so fucking rudimentary that you never
really
had that
down.
Aha moment. And I understand why they did that, to keep the story moving along, but still, you know, when you're in Monkey Island and you figure out where to use that rubber chicken with the pulley, you're just like, yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, man, Angelo, if that's the... I could think of, God, go back and look at any of those old LucasArts games, Sam and Max.
Or the old Sierra games.
Yeah, Space Quest, King's Quest, Police Quest, Full Throttle, Sam and Max, Day of the Tentacle. You know, if you have a PC, go to goodoldgames.com and start going down that list, and you will find a ton of games. Just remember, when you play Space Quest, to not get kissed by the alien at the beginning.
Do not do that.
You will regret it later on, I swear.
The biggest fuck you in a video game ever.
Yup! Just because they wait so long to fuck you.
No.
They wait until you've obviously saved over all your shit, and then they just fuck you with it. All right. Next question is from BHammer100. Hey, Jason, Jeff, it's BHammer100 here. Love what you guys are doing with the website. You guys are the classiest guys on the internet. Keep doing what you're doing. I like the fact that I don't even remember which one of us came up with it or where we first said the classy thing, but like that's kind of our logo now, or our motto.
Let's stick with it. Let's go with it.
All right. Anyway, my question to you guys is, would you guys ever consider doing a TV podcast where you guys talk about a number of TV shows? Be good to do the series finale of Breaking Bad coming up. Just talk about TV shows you guys like now, upcoming TV shows in your past that you liked, just whatever. Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, Justified, Firefly, etc. Keep being classy, and long live Gary Marzipan. Hope he eventually reunites with Greedo. It will be sad when there is no more Marzipan crazy to look forward to, but hopefully the next installments will be just as good. So,
no, we will be not be doing a TV podcast.
Yeah.
Several of our close friends already do that. For those of you that don't know, we'll give them a plug. It's on loungegeeks.com.
Sure.
TV Dudes.
Yep.
They update.
Grant that's on this website is
exactly
like the TV dude.
Yeah, exactly. So you can find them on Facebook and Twitter. They update a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And they post a lot of content, and they talk about TV in depth. Those guys watch a lot of fucking television.
They watch a lot of TV.
A lot of TV. So, yeah, that's their bag, and they're good at it. So go check them out.
Which the other two, I mean, the other couple things that come to mind when I think about that proposition is that, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it is for you.
You don't want to dilute the brand either.
Well, I don't know how it is for you, but like I play video games with a critical eye.
Sure.
Movies and TV, oh fuck you, shit. I just watch them, enjoy them. Like,
yeah, that's clear, judging by your taste.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a shit.
Striker Eureka. Stupid fucking movie.
Yeah, you know, when you came back from Pacific Rim, you didn't seem to dislike it as much as you have since then.
It's just me being contrary.
It's like the more you think about it, the more you're like, you know what? Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
One other thing. Fuck that movie. The other thing is to do TV justice, it's like as big a time commitment as video games.
Oh, man.
Because they're like, you know, because you're either every week looking at running down, you know, what, 20 or 30 shows that are on that are half an hour to an hour a piece, or whenever season 4 of Justified comes out, you've got to sit down and watch like 20 hours.
And you listen to, like, the TV Dudes guys are talking about, well, yeah, I might have to drop that one for my DVR. Oh, really? I'm keeping it on there for a while, but I got to catch up. Oh, my so-and-so's filling up on my DVR. I'm like, I don't even have a DVR.
I don't even have cable.
I have never had a DVR. Yeah, I don't have cable.
Netflix.
Yeah,
that's the way I roll.
That's all I got. It's like I don't need that burden. Of trying to keep up with all that.
Besides, man, I'm on the verge of having a stroke anyway, just keeping up with the video games and stuff.
Yeah,
I was trying to just beat video games so we can review them, and it's like,
So yeah, check out TV Dudes on loungegeeks.com.
Yes, indeed. All right, next question. Coming up from Pub Monkey. Hey, Jeff, Jason, Kevin, or Nick. I grew up with the SNES, NES, and Sega Genesis. I can remember playing games and having fun as a kid. This guy doesn't seem to like punctuation all that much. When I was older, I started to get more into the story, and then it turned from fun to fun with a great story. But it wasn't until God of War and Shadow of the Colossus that made me go, wow, that they can do with video games is amazing as far as storytelling and even emotional connection goes. So my question, seriously, dude, you have to, PubMonkey, you have to start you putting periods after you finish the thought. So my question is, what was the first game that made you say this is an amazing new art form that creative people can do a lot with? And he says, P.S. This is the only site I like and watch everything on. Thanks for the hard work. Signed, Rage Selector, or whatever we're called, PubMonkey.
Yeah.
So, it's funny in reading this, I wonder, it kept me wondering, because when he talked about God of War and Shadow of the Colossus, I'm like, that's late.
Yeah,
for
that
me.
is late.
And,
yeah, I think he started to really realize the storytelling stuff on the PC.
Yeah.
With like A Mind Forever Voyaging or something like that. If you played one of those old ones, or Harlan Ellison's I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. There's even some story. They started adding to it, of course, on the King's Quest games, the Space Quest games, like we just talked about.
Right.
And another one that I thought was really kind of a landmark, and it was still kind of late. It was PS1.
Yeah.
Was Legacy of Kain.
Right.
Really liked the story for that. And then on the N64, what was it? Eternal Darkness?
It was a GameCube.
GameCube. Oh, was that GameCube?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
shit.
GameCube.
Okay.
But it's funny. Actually, I was just in thinking about Mr. Monkey's question here. Like, we're such old fucking fogies about this shit that there was a time when some of the early games out there were nothing but story, text adventures.
Right.
When what you were doing is you were reading text, and then you said, and for those of you who have never played a text adventure before, you read text and it says, like, you're in a room, the room is musty, there's a box on the table, the exits are north, south, and west.
I still go back and play those every now and then.
Yeah, like Zork, or even some of the real old ones.
There's this app on iOS that has a bunch of cheap or free ones on there you can download. It's called Frotz.
Yeah.
I was playing one called Anchorhead that was developed recently, because they still have a little subculture, I guess you could say, of people still making games like that.
And so back in those games, and even like we were just talking about with adventure games, like some of my earliest memories of playing games on the computer were Space Quest and King's Quest. So you're talking about, these are games that are nothing but story. And in the case of Space Quest, of course, it was parody story. But even back to those text adventure games, things like Shadowgate or Deja Vu or Uninvited, where the game was more interactive story than it was any kind of reflexology. Right. And this, of course, was stuff on the PC, kind of post Atari Crash.
Yeah,
when the PC was doing more, that was your main gaming box at the time.
Right.
And then you had the NES. When the NES came out, there were some NES games that had. I mean, I remember Shadowgate and Deja Vu were both on the NES.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where I played them.
I mean, OG Metal Gear on the NES had a story. I
don't really remember the story, but
you did infiltrate the place and destroy Metal Gear.
That's not a story.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
No, you had to rescue scientists, and there was this other guy you had to rescue, and his daughter, and Bob's.
Okay, that's kind of a story. That's not something that's going to make you realize the power of the medium. I mean, that's like, okay, dinosaur dragon guy stole the princess, go get her.
Well, but
that's the same level of complexity.
But the thing is that at the time, you're looking at. I mean, the thing to remember, of course, is that back in those days, you're coming from a legacy of like Pac-Man and stuff in the arcades,
sure,
and you have stuff on the Atari 2600. Any story in a video game was kind of revolutionary at the time.
Pac-Man had a very rich, dark story.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You had to buy the paperback?
He was a drug addict.
Oh, yeah?
Basically.
Yeah.
Who was haunted by the figurative ghosts of all of the people he had wronged.
Did you ever see the trailer that somebody made for Pac-Man with the guy in the motorcycle helmet that was like the Pac-Man thing? And he was driving away from ghosts on his motorcycle, and there was pills and stuff in there. It was pretty cool. But, yeah, I would say... that once again, I mean, I don't know, we should start getting them to pay us to plug them, but like, I mean, I remember before the NES came out, Wing Commander 3, did Wing Commander 3 come out pre-NES?
No.
It was post-NES?
It was post-NES, yeah.
Okay, oh yeah, because it was the optical drive. But things like that, I mean, back to Wing Commander 3 back in those days where you had full motion video of people, of actors, of fucking Mark Hamill and Biff Tannen and fucking giant Hobbs guy and the Malcolm McDowell and John Rhys Davies was all in there. Like, there was a lot of stuff back in those days where they were trying to kind of get that storytelling stuff. And let us not forget the pinnacle of all video game storytelling, Night Trap.
Night Trap. Yes.
The acting in Night Trap, superb. I don't know.
It's like watching a sleepaway camp movie.
Never been. Dude, I didn't see Sleepaway Camp for a long time. That last scene in Sleepaway Camp still kind of...
Yep.
Yep.
It'll stick with you.
Woof. It's that weird face that... yeah. Yeah. All right, our next question is from Robo Jeeves, and Robo Jeeves says, "Hey Ragers, I have sent this question once before, but it was the same week that your email stopped working, so I'm not sure if you got it. If you haven't seen this already, I apologize. Won't be sending it again. Anyway, I've recently been thinking about game announcements that sounded amazing and promised so much, but in the end either weren't executed very well or had major flaws, hindering otherwise great experiences. I'm thinking of Aliens, Colonial Marines, and Mass Effect 3, respectively. So I was thinking, if you could rewrite history, making any one game live up to all of your hopes and expectations, what game would you choose? Never stop raging, Robo Jeeves."
Well, you put a good one in there, and yeah, I got to say, Mass Effect 3.
Really?
They just had a good ending there. Well, I could probably think of something else, but yeah, Mass Effect 3 was the one where it's just like, oh man, you had this great epic and you just botched the landing.
I mean, it was a disappointment, but still there was plenty of good game in there to go with it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's only that last section where it really drops the ball.
I mean, just like everybody else when I was playing Mass Effect 3, up until that turn, I was like, this is fine. What's everybody complaining about? And then, like, whoop, the elevator goes up, and it's like, oh, this is what they were complaining about.
That's what everybody's pissed about.
Plus, if you go back in, I mean, I don't. You haven't done this, but I did for a real slow week that we had a while back. Play Leviathan and Citadel,
right?
And the extended cut ending together. Leviathan telegraphs the ending. Citadel gives you the big party, so you get to say goodbye to everybody, and then you go into the ending, and it just works out better. Like the whole thing wraps up a little bit better because they give you some emotional rest with the characters. And they, in that house party thing, they literally bring everybody back in. Like everybody shows back up again who's still in the story at that point. And Leviathan telegraphs parts of the ending to the point where it doesn't just come out of fucking nowhere. So those two things with the extended cut endings, I feel like help a lot to the point where if you were to play it again, you might even have a different opinion of it.
Okay.
Now it's shit that you have to buy all that stuff.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I'm not going to.
I am going to go with something that I've talked about a few times in the past. I don't know if you ever played this. I don't know if we ever went into detail about this. Advent Rising. You play Advent Rising?
Final Fantasy game?
No,
that was Advent Sun or something, right?
Advent Children.
Advent Children. Okay, no, I didn't play Advent Rising.
I read this is one of those ones. I mean, I have to say that if you have easily punctured expectations for a game, don't read Game Informer because they make everything sound fucking badass. But Advent Rising was a sci-fi action game that was created by Glyphex. It's written by Orson Scott Card.
Yeah,
it was going to be part of like a trilogy. And what it was is it was people in space, and then it's kind of Mass Effect-y where humans are up in space and they're a young race out in the cosmos or whatever. But there's this prophecy that they're the most dangerous race of all. And you start the game as just like a dude with guns running around and jumping. But as the game goes on, you start to develop these psychic powers that start to make you more powerful. So by the end of the game, it's like starting the game as Grand Theft Auto 5 and then ending the game as
Saints Row
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had planned it to be a trilogy. It was pretty much garbage. I mean, I played all the way to the end of it. Whatever, I bought it. And it had some places where it was kind of interesting, but for the most part, it was total dog shit. And if it could have been a good game, it could have been a franchise that everybody knows about instead of just something that's off. That and obviously Trespasser, so I didn't spend 2 years waiting for a game that turned out to just be total crap.
Yeah, and the secret of the game.
What's that?
That the most dangerous people in the universe were gays.
See, this was before Orson Scott Card went all nutty bananas.
Was it, or was it before he revealed that he was nutty?
Yeah, it very much could have been before he revealed that he was nutty bananas. But
pulling his mask off like a Scooby-Doo villain.
2005.
Surprise! I'm a homophobe.
Yeah. Well, he wrote fucking Shadow Complex, and I don't think anybody really had any beef with him at that point. That was like 4 or 5 years ago, and then he started opening his mouth and talking about politics.
Yeah.
So, nutty bananas. But yeah, I always wish that game could have been good because there was a Game Informer article that got me really hyped up about it, and then it wasn't. So that's why when Aliens Colonial Marines is a drag or something is a drag, it's a drag, but it's just like, I'm heartbroken before, folks. I'm like a gigolo with video games. I'm like, yeah, whatever. All right.
A game in every port.
That's right. Let's see. Is this okay? That was gaming disappointments, and we've got this is our next to the last question. Then we'll have that one more that I promised I got to read. Hey guys, love the new site. Think you guys and Sparkle Fandango are funnier, more creative, and overall more entertaining than all the dumbasses on YouTube who do video game playthroughs.
Woo!
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to know if you guys have any thoughts on the Red. Yeah, this is very interesting. Right, on the Red Cross wanting some of the more realistic war games to include non-combatants and medics who you get negative points for shooting. If you've already heard the story, here's a link to it. I didn't actually read the story, but I think the Red Cross is afraid these amped-up Mountain Dew drinking sociopathic kids will grow up to actually join the army, then not know that they can't go blowing up neutral parties like Red Cross medics.
Yeah.
Thanks
God,
for
what the
answering my
Army should
question.
do? The Army should train these people and not let them. Did you play Xbox? Yeah. Here's a gun. Go.
Let's see. Let me just read some of this. The aid organization is arguing. The aid organization is arguing that as virtual war games are becoming close to reality, the rules of war should be included. Games such as Medal of Honor and Call of Duty should make sure that actions which could be war crimes are not rewarded with victory in a virtual battle. You think about war games or video games make you have to Geneva Convention?
Well, this as we really approach a more realistic fighting environment and something that really activates the parts of the brain that where people can transition what they learn in the game over to real life. I think it's important to remember that the Red Cross sounds like a bunch of fucking pussies. That's what I think.
Come on, Red Cross.
Eat me.
Get some guns already.
Yeah,
if you really
God.
want to get that medicine to somebody, you need to shoot at them.
I need to include the rules of war. It's a video game.
I don't know, man. Some people are starting to have some. Oh well. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that it would be completely out of place. I mean, to be honest,
no. I just don't think that you try to say it should be mandated. Sure, put that in a game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that could be an interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
But to say it needs to be in all the Call of Duties and
Also, I mean,
modern,
if it
whatever.
it'd be like if it makes sense. Like if you're playing Black Ops, right? You've got like some kind of private military contracting assholes, and you're some black operator in there shooting people.
Right.
Like, probably not a shitload of medics in this sleazy
right.
organization, or I don't know. I can kind of understand the Red Cross being like, we actually go to places where people have real guns, and we don't want it to become just like kill everybody.
Yeah.
Like, but then I don't know.
Soldiers have training.
Yeah.
You dumb shits.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't just sit there and it's like, okay, did you complete Call of Duty? Here's your gun.
I get this. It's like the Last Starfighter, right?
Yeah.
Fucking what's his name shows
Right.
up in the car. Centauri shows up in his fucking flying car. Goes, greetings, warfighter.
Here's your machine gun.
This Medal of Honor warfighter. Greetings, warfighter. All right, one more question here, and this is the one that I said I would read if the guy shut up and stopped sending it to me. So, you ready for this epic question that's
I'm
been sent to
ready.
me over and over again,
I'm
Jason?
ready.
All right.
God.
All right. So here's a question for Jason and Jeff. What do you think about music in video game? For me, a very hype and awesome soundtrack is needed because without it, I lose freaking motivation to play. I'm looking at you, Dark Souls, because, man, when I farm and grind, just mashing the attack button with no sound in the background makes me feel bored. Had to play my iTunes library in the background, except when I finally get to a boss fight. Do you guys think that music in video games is very important to make sure the player enjoys his or her time with the game? P.S. What is your favorite video game soundtrack in general, and which boss theme do you like from Dark Souls, Jason or Jeff? I forget who loves that game. Yeah. And this is from... Wait. And from Dark Souls. Okay, then he goes on. he goes on. Thanks for the show, you guys. More awesome questions in the future. And this is from Mark1246.
Mark, to answer your question, yes. Castlevania. All right, everybody. That's all we got.
I don't like. I didn't even realize Dark Souls doesn't have music when you're just wandering around.
I don't know.
It honestly, it's like cumin or something. Like, it's good if it's in there, but if it's not, I'm not missing it. Like, I mean, it's we were playing every so often. Something will surprise you with a soundtrack, or if it has a licensed soundtrack.
Yeah,
like Saints Row 4 used licensed music really well in it. But if you're just talking about generic orchestral score, I don't care. I don't fucking care. If
I like it. It's cool. I rarely remember it. Okay, best soundtrack in a game. No One Lives Forever.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I got a Humble Bundle recently that had a bunch of soundtracks. Monaco, Gunpoint.
Cool. Yeah.
There's a lot of indie games that have nice soundtracks. When somebody tries to do something differently, but a lot of times when it's just straight orchestral, I don't even remember it.
That's always been my problem. I like classical music.
Yeah.
But I have a difficult time telling pieces apart.
Right.
I never can.
I want the pirate shanties in AC4. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll sing it next time we go out to the bar.
Have you ever downloaded or have you listened to the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack?
No.
Put it on while you do anything. It seems epic. Like you could be making a salad and you get that dun 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 dun. Like, you're just like, fuck yeah,
yeah,
a salad on the high seas.
Yar.
All right, and that's all the questions that we have, folks. And so we can't do the show without your questions. Questions are starting to slow down a little bit, Jason. So we're gonna have to.
They've asked them all.
Yeah, we don't necessarily just need questions about video games. You can ask us whatever you want to. The email address though is mail@rageselect.com. mail@rageselect.com. Send your questions in, and we will answer them on the air. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.